We're just in one of the houses right now, and you can see that there's this little square hole in the wall, and this would have been in the front room probably, and that's where the shrine would be for either the household gods or for your ancestors. Also, you can see that in my other video about a ghost town in Guilin, and where we actually found some of the photographs and the memorials to those ancestors, so be sure to check that out too. Here you can see the remains of a bed, and this is the bed head. You can see that this has been inlaid with some designs. Traditionally, this would have been mother of pearl, you know, like the iridescent inside of an oyster, for example. But this looks like it's been inlaid with plastic, but it's still quite a nice design. You can see like this tiny bird here. There's a butterfly. That's quite a beautiful design, I think. It really is amazing how much stuff is abandoned here. This is a 3-story house and it's completely abandoned. And you can see from up here, you have an amazing view of the sea. Look at this. Imagine waking up and seeing that every morning. Isn't it beautiful? This house is right at the top of the hill, and actually you can see it's a little bit more fancy. It's got tiles on the floor. But again, you can still see there's space for the ancestral shrine. Well, there's quite a large space here for a shrine, and you can see these joss sticks which look like they've been here for a very long time. And when you light the joss sticks, that's to praise your ancestors, show respect to them. One of the interesting things about this place is that even though people don't live here anymore, the local fishermen, they still use it for storage. So again, you can see some kind of lobster pots and fishing equipment left behind. So you can see we got all these, I don't know what they call them, just like nets really. And these are for catching lobsters, crabs, and you can see they put a bait in the middle just here. There's like a hairband in the middle and some stinky fish or something on that. And then your fish, a large fish or a lobster or a crab, climbs in there to get it, but they're too big to get out again, you know, because they're good at getting into things, but they're not very good at getting out, and so then they're stuck. And then the fishermen will pull it up and they can take out their prize. There's a dead animal here. I think it's a dog. Yeah, it's a small dog. See all the bones of it? Like all the decayed flesh, all the spinal column. Eee. I will on the way back. Oh, look here. Some bottles. What's this? What's that say? 冲身酒. Strong body 酒. Strong body wine. And then a bottle of ink. What's this one? 小麦酒. Barley wine. Wow, look at the ones at the top here. They're really covered in ivy. Well, I think we just found an abandoned school, and it says like Shanghai Houtouwan. Houtouwan is where we are, and Xiaoxue, which means like a primary school. So let's go in and have a look at, because I love exploring like abandoned schools. They're always the best ones. You can think about all the children that have studied here, and maybe they're even dead by now. Let's go have a look. So this looks like it was the playground. Some toilets here now. It's the public toilets now. Some things growing here. And it's amazing too, because like this is right at the base, and you can see kind of the cliffs in the background. It's really beautiful here. Should we go and look in the school? What's this? Holy shit, we found coffins. I think these are coffins.
Are you kidding?
That's a Chinese coffin. Seriously. So traditionally, a lot of Chinese people in the villages, they would keep the coffins in their house ready for when they die. So we can imagine that actually a lot of these coffins might be for the people who still live in this village. There are a few people that live in the village. Or maybe these are coffins that have been taken out of their houses because people have died and then been taken away anyway. Should we open one up, see what's inside it? Yeah, these are definitely coffins. If you've watched my other videos, you'll have seen these before.
Empty ones.
It smells amazing though. It smells so good.
Kind of sweet. Cinnamon.
And you can see these dovetails in here. These are like nails. So you'd be able to actually close it up.
Oops.
You see, you'd actually be able to lock this up using these. These are called dovetails. So this would have no nails in it. It's quite amazing, really. So you can see actually there's somebody's name on here, and it says Ah Fei, and that's probably the person whose coffin this is or will belong to eventually. We just looked in the dictionary. It says Ah Fei, and that's like a young street rowdy or a hooligan. So maybe that's the person that's going to die. The other funny thing about these coffins is that they have kind of a clove smell. little bit of a herbal smell, and I suspect that's to keep woodworm and other insects out of the coffins so they don't get eaten, woodworm, things like that. I can't believe we found coffins, that's awesome. And then like there's blackboards here, and I guess this is all the people that visited. I don't have any chalk. You can see how many coffins there are in here. How many coffins are there? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 coffins here. Why is it everywhere I go I find coffins? It's super interesting. Let's go upstairs, see what we can find upstairs. Man, coffins in a school. That's cool. And one of the things that this island is really famous for is how like the ivy, this ivy has just grown over all the walls everywhere. It's a little bit early in the year for it right now, but if we come here in summer, the whole island will just be covered in this ivy. But at the same time, it's going to be covered in Chinese tourists, which is why we've come earlier in the year. I think it's all going to kick off tomorrow, the tourist season. And again, you can just see these would have all been classrooms. And
another classroom, yeah.
Imagine being a student in one of these classrooms and just having this view. It would be amazing just to be a student in this school. Imagine how many happy memories people had. Can you get me? That's it. Now let's go out to the last classroom. Oh, we've got to be careful here, it's very wet. Oh, there's another coffin in here. This one looks like it's a bit bigger than the other ones. Yeah, this one's much bigger. Oh, there's some graffiti here too.
So wait, is this coffin gonna be used one day, or is it just abandoned like everything else here?
The thing about these coffins, right, is that we don't really know if they're going to be used, because I've seen them in other abandoned villages. Traditionally, people would keep them in their houses and then use them when somebody dies in the household. But at the same time, these days, maybe the people here die and they don't have any relatives to put them in the coffin, so they'll just be taken away and cremated probably. And so the coffins will often just lie vacant. They're probably quite expensive to make as well.
Is there another one or just one?
Just one in here. And some graffiti. I don't know what that say. Daji Ma. I think that means like big prostitute mother. You can kind of see some of the designs in the. You can tell they like had a lot of time. This is probably all handcrafted. This is not machine crafted like modern designs, but this is, I don't know, these are probably window shutters. There's some design in there. Do you recognise that character?
Cool.
There's some others. That was held together a bit better. Is that the long life character?
I'm not sure.
I think we need to charge the batteries up a bit. this one goes downstairs. It's like a...
Into the basement?
Another level.
Oh. It looks like a kitchen area.
Yeah, you can see these are the stoves. Some stoves here, and that's where the pots would have gone, I guess.
Should I go down there?
No?
Should I go down there?
Yeah. You have power. Come on.
You come up.
I've just noticed something unusual about this house, and there's something in the rafters of the house that I'd like to show you. If we squeeze through here, oh, it's really prickly in here. If we squeeze through here, you can see there is a coffin. Let's see if we can find an easier way around. If we squeeze through here, you can see there. Oh wow! It is a marriage bed. We've discussed these before in my videos when I explored the ghost town in Guilin. So a marriage bed would be very important in a Chinese family. But not only have we got the marriage bed, but in the rafters, if you look, there is a coffin lid. And that's because a lot of the time coffins would actually be stored in the rafters. So on the one hand, you've got the place where you rest every night, and then on the other hand, you've got the place where you rest for eternity. Yeah.